Okay, joining me right now here in the studio, D.C. Congressional Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton, Lenny Steinhorn, History Communications Professor at American University, Julian Ivey, member of the Cheverly, Maryland City Council. I want to start with you. What are you thinking 50 years, half century after Martin Luther King Jr.'s death? What's going through your mind today?
Well, I think about how he came to this city, not only to go to the Washington National Cathedral, but in a real sense to be part of the city. He marched in a home rule march, the largest we ever had, from Shaw at R Street, 11th and R, all the way to the White House to protest what was then no democratic local government. So what I loved about King is that he could not pass over injustice, and he could not come here as a national figure without embroiling himself in injustice he saw as he got off the ground into the District of Columbia.
Yeah, Lenny?
Look, today we talk about it, but people live it every day. We live with this original sin in American society every single day. Black people live it in a very personal way, but white people live it in a very personal way. Everybody lives it. It's a driving narrative of our nation's history. So on a day like this, we have to sort of redouble our personal and cultural and societal effort to think through the consequences of this original sin. Now, let's be clear, things have changed for the better. Institutions have changed, values have changed, norms have changed. But it's also, the more things change, the more they stay the same. In 1964, the riot in Harlem, it was because a 15-year-old unarmed black teenager was shot by a police officer. The more things change, the more they stay the same. We can't forget that. We have to think about this every day.
Julian?
Yeah, well, in 1966, Gallup commissioned a poll, and it found that 63% of Americans viewed Dr. King negatively. And there was a poll taken in 2017 on Black Lives Matter, on that movement, and it found that 57% of Americans viewed that movement negatively. But I see the parallels between these two movements, which have about, 50 years in between them, and that is that Dr. Martin Luther King, he has a monument on the National Mall, and he has a holiday in his memory now. And I believe that the Black Lives Matter movement in time will have popular thinking come around and view it positively as well as the civil rights movement. One thing that needs to be done is that individuals need to make sure that the individuals who gave their lives to spark this movement, the Trayvon Martins, the Mike Browns, the Eric Gardners, the Sandra Blands, that we keep saying their names so that their input to this movement, their legacy, isn't erased. Dr. King, he gave so many great speeches, but the one that people know most is the I Have a Dream speech.
Right.
But he gave speeches talking about the need for an economic revolution, to start a poor people's campaign. And we can't let that aspect of his legacy be erased.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a lot more to talk about, including what needs to happen now, what's going on right now. We're going to be back in just a minute. Stay with us.